thoracic spine and lumbar spine CARs. So in a standing position, I want to talk about being rooted to the ground. So my knees are slightly bent, my quads are turned on, I'm gripping the ground with my feet, kind of screwing my feet into the floor to feel rooted, to create tension throughout my body. And I like to have a landmark to start the rotation from. So I'm starting from my right hip, bringing my right elbow down to my right hip, coming across the left elbow to left hip, and then rotating back into a lateral flexion extension, and then I'm reversing the curvature. So the side view here you can see as I come across, back into extension, adding that rotation, going back to the right front hip, and then reversing back out of that to come all the way back around to the right. And we're combining all spinal motion into this, and then ways that we progress it when we're standing, it allows more range of motion to kind of happen throughout your thoracic spine and your lumbar spine. And here in a second, we're going to go through some progressions to where now we're half kneeling. This half kneeling position locks my pelvis up a little bit because as we go into hip flexion, that's going to create a lumbar spine flexion moment. So it's a little bit harder for me to go into extension in my lumbar spine, and that just allows me to get a little bit more isolated work in my upper back or my thoracic spine. And the exact same setup with my rotation. And then we're in a tall kneeling position. I find this is a really easy way to set up for someone who really compensates through their low back, is you'll really feel your lumbar spine or your low back muscles start to fire if you're not creating tension through your glutes. And again, the whole point of the drill here is to create as much rotational motion throughout our entire spine and explore as much joint space as possible. And then I go seated. And to me, this, in my opinion, this is going to be the hardest example of the ones that we've gone through. And I'm really going to be able to target my upper back. And again, we're trying to move through as much motion as possible while not producing pain. So if you have pain, you need to layer back on the intensity, the range of motion, or both, because these should be pain-free movements.